third one is about thinking about how students can self-assess and reflect. And what we want students to be able to do is to understand their level of progress, not just which grade they have or what the teachers told them they've got, but do they understand how much progress they're making in their own work? Now, when students use this idea of comparing current work with previous work in order to gauge progress and assessment, we call this ipsative assessment. And it's actually something that AI can be really, really helpful with when we're asking it to coach us and help us to understand how much progress we may have made between two sets of things. So I want you to imagine, for instance, that you've been doing a piece of narrative writing. Perhaps you wrote one last year, and perhaps you've tried doing it again this year after putting into play all of the feedback that you've had from the teacher. So the prompt that I'm going to give it is this one. I'm just going to say, I'm going to show you two pieces of narrative writing. It's important that we're on balanced or precise for this one. I wrote the first one in 2023 and the second one I wrote yesterday. Can you compare the two extracts of the same story introduction? Tell me if I've made progress in my writing and which one is better and why. So it should then prompt me. As I said, it's live use of AI. So, we've already seen it can sometimes not always do what we're told, but let's give it the first extract. So first extract, and then it should prompt me after giving it a little bit of an analysis for a second one. So all of this is on the document that Dave shared with you. And okay, so it says second extract. So let's put the second one in. So now it's going to run a comparison between the first extract and the second extract. And it's going to tell me that it feels like the second extract is better. Okay, so it says it shows improvements in several areas, including emotional depth and descriptive writing. It tells me that the dialogue is more natural and authentic. And it's also given me some follow-up for it to either thank it and leave it there, or you can give it some more of the writing. What if I actually say to it that I don't think its answer is correct? What if I say to it, I don't think that the second one is that much better? Why are you so sure? Okay, so it does say it's subjective, but it does give us some sort of reevaluation there of the two extracts in itself. What I could then do if I'm looking for some sort of progress and what could I do next? Or how could I improve the extract, the story next time? And so we get some really useful points here. We've got some conventional ones that you would give to any narrative writer: show, don't tell. Thinking about there's an absence of internal monologue, ramping up the descriptive language in terms of vocabulary, and also asking some very specific questions about the dialogue. Explore family dynamics further. How did Jake's parents react to his resistance? So these are very, very specific points. And if you do any sort of writing, fictional or non-fictional, having AI as a critical friend next to you could be absolutely game-changing for you as a particular writer. If you are a writer who's always been accused of being too florid, the AI will help you to understand how to produce better pacing, how to remove unnecessary grammar and that sort of thing. So one of the things that we can see here is that with Copilot particularly, is that we've got some really great ways of helping us to understand differences between texts. We can query it, we can ask it for evidence, and it can sometimes be quite stubborn. It will say, no, I genuinely believe that this is the better piece of writing. If the two pieces of writing are quite close together, you might get a little bit more subjectivity. Or you can, so AI is a critical friend, you can also give it something, you can give it a more specific rubric. So I could add in a rubric here and say, now mark it or grade it against the rubric that I've given you. And we can feed that in as a file and then get the AI to then see it in a different lens. So this is one of the powerful things a bit with AI, is that a student that has autonomy understands that the AI will give it one answer, but a student who's got real independent learning capabilities and understands the agency of the learner will say, now look at it through this lens, look at it through this lens, and it will put different lenses in front of the AI in order to get a multitude of rich feedback back from the AI, as well as feed forward as well coming from it too.